They didn't even blink as they spoke, their smiles perfectly casual while their words cut like glass. My mother's voice was flat as she said, "There's no room for you." My father would meet my eyes, and my sister's laugh dripped with poison. We booked rooms for me, my husband, and my child. We're the real family. Something shifted in my chest then, neither anger nor sorrow, but something sharper and colder. I gave him a small smile, nodded once, and said quietly, "Then I'll go." I turned and walked away. They thought they had humiliated me. What they didn't know was that this was the moment everything changed. My sister had always been the favored one. As children, every present, every compliment, every ounce of attention gravitated toward her. I told myself it didn't matter, that I'd become stronger because of it, that I'd learned to endure. But the truth was simpler. I had been trained to accept scraps while she took the feast. When she married, my parents poured their savings into her wedding. They called it an investment in her happiness. When her child was born, they bent over backwards to babysit, to help, to adore. And me? I became the background noise, the helper, the one they forgot. So when they planned this family trip, I expected nothing. Yet I thought a single hotel room, a place to sleep, was basic decency. Even that they refused. As I walked out of that lobby with their laughter echoing behind me, years of neglect flashed through my mind. The forgotten birthdays. The silence when I landed a job I was proud of. The time my father said, "Your sister gave us a grandchild. That's what matters." Tiny cracks over years had opened into a canyon, and now I was standing on the other side of it. But betrayal only crushes you if you're unprepared. I wasn't. I'd been watching them all my life. I didn't rage, didn't weep. Instead, I sat in a quiet cafe nearby, ordered a black coffee, and ignored the flood of calls lighting up my phone. Because I held a secret they didn't. The entire trip, the hotel, the car rentals, even the private tour my sister had been bragging about, was under my credit card. My father had asked me weeks ago to handle all the bookings, promising he'd transfer the money later. He never did. They hadn't just insulted me. They'd handed me the perfect weapon. I finished my coffee, then made the first call. The hotel manager answered. Calmly, I explained that I was the cardholder and that all charges under my name should be canceled immediately. He hesitated, worried about the guests already checked in. I let the silence stretch, then said firmly, "If you don't cancel, I'll dispute every charge with my bank." Click. Refund initiated. Next, the car rental company. Same result. Then the private tour. Gone. In less than an hour, their luxury vacation dissolved into nothing. At sunset, I returned to the hotel. The lobby was chaos. My sister shouting at the staff, her husband pacing, my parents pleading for answers. When they saw me, desperation twisted their faces. "Why didn't you answer our calls?" my mother cried. "There's been some mistake," my father insisted. I walked closer, steady as stone. "No mistake." My sister hissed. "What did you do?" I leaned in just enough of my voice to slice through the noise. "You told me I wasn't family. Families don't stay on my card." The color drained from her face. Her husband muttered under his breath. Even my parents fell silent as reality sank in. No rooms, no cars, no tours, nothing. The hotel manager stepped forward nervously. "I'm sorry, but without payment." I raised a hand. "It's fine. I won't be staying either." And I walked out again. This time, there were no calls behind me, only silence. Across town, I booked myself into a suite at another hotel, paid for with the money I'd saved by canceling theirs. That night, I sat on the balcony overlooking the city, a glass of wine in my hand, the air cool against my skin. Did I feel guilty? Not at all. They had written this story long ago. I had simply delivered the ending. For once, I wasn't the shadow, the afterthought. I was the one in control. And the best part? They would remember this trip for the rest of their lives. Not as a vacation, but as the day I stopped being their quiet sacrifice. The day I became untouchable. I lifted my glass to the night and whispered, "Family isn't always blood.